So I hate school. Like I, I absolutely hated school my whole life. If I remember since my first day going to school, I remember just crying a lot, and just being so lonely and away from my mom. It was suffering. Like it was. I did not even like school. Just my first day, like first few days, it was hard for me to socialize. I didn't even like the teachers. I didn't like the subjects. Everything about school was just so painful when I first started. After I started moving up grades and I got to fifth grade, I started to really struggle in school. And it wasn't that I was struggling like logically. I understood the material. I was very smart. Like, I knew what needed to be done and what I needed to do, but it was a problem of motivation, and I couldn't motivate myself to do the schoolwork because the schoolwork was just so painful. Like so, the schoolwork was just not it for me. Like I hated schoolwork. Like it was awful. Like in the fifth grade, and I told myself I wasn't going to do homework. I wasn't going to study. I wasn't going to, as soon as I got home, that was my home time. That was my free time. I'm going to spend this time to do whatever I want to do. I'm not going to spend this time doing homework. Like I never understood, like, why do you send people, like, why do you force kids to go to school for 8 hours, and then you send them home just to do more schoolwork. Like that homework just never made sense. Like that's why I never did it. I said fuck homework. Let me copy off of my classmate and get the answers off of them, and that's what I did, and it worked. It worked pretty well. I mean, I graduated, so it had to work, you know. But yeah, the school system is just awful. I absolutely hated it, and I remember in the sixth grade, I was struggling. I was still like lack of motivation. I was like, I'm not gonna try. Like I just don't care for it. I'm just I don't care. I don't care to try, and then I got into the seventh grade, and I ended up failing, and that really just was like, okay, so if I don't try, I fail, and that was just like it was a wake up call, and I instantly realized, I was like, oh shit, so if I don't try, I'm going to be a failure. So when I failed seventh grade, I was like, oh my god, I'm just a failure. Like what am I doing? Like I was just completely disappointed, and when I was when I repeated the seventh grade, I told myself, and I put all my focus and discipline into just making straight A's and just making the best grades possible. And then they ended up moving me back up a grade, and they moved me into the eighth grade. And when they did that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna chill out for a bit. And then I was like, kind of like coasting through school, whereas I was like applying effort, but just enough effort just to make decent grades. So I wasn't applying like a crazy amount of. I wasn't putting a lot of work and effort to make straight A's after they did that. So high school was just uh, it was just like a C and B zone. I made a few A's and a few classes in high school, but mostly B's and C's. And my GPA, I think it's like a 3.0, like exactly 3.0. If I could be wrong, but I don't even know my GPA, which I should. But so yeah, I hated school, and was and like I just overall hate the school system, and it needs to be changed. Like I if I get the money, and later in life, if I have the resources, I want to see if I can try to change the school system, because it it hurts my conscience knowing that the next generation of people has to go through what I went through, and I wouldn't want anybody to experience that. The school system is just flawed and broken. It's really just made for people to. I mean, the school system was literally made for to prepare kids to work in factories. Like it's such a logical way like of thinking, and makes you less emotional. Uh, it's really just a way to babysit people. Really, it's just not. It's just I don't really see the point. It doesn't educate people. I learned more from doing my own research than I did from any classes I took in high school. Uh, but yeah, I hate the school system. I hate this school system, and I just wanted to make a video talking about how much I hate the school system, cause to really get better at expressing my feelings. So I wanted to make a video about how much I hate the school system because it's awful. And yeah, uh, yeah, that's it for the video. I'll see you on the next one.